Today we're going to talk about the current state of the crypto market. Let's get straight to it. Welcome back to the 0 to 6 Figure series. This is the series where I showcase my portfolio to see if I can grow and build a 100k portfolio. Of course, I am investing my own money into this portfolio, so hopefully we will see it grow over time anyway. Now, it has been a little while since the last update, and probably because I haven't really been doing too much. My portfolio's been pretty steady, and we're currently at a value of around $11,200. In the last few months, we're actually down quite a bit. I think in July we did peak out at maybe getting close to $14,000, and despite adding some more money into the portfolio, we're kind of down quite badly actually. I think we're probably down maybe 30% from that point in July, and that's because the market has just been bleeding and alts have been getting wrecked. I think this was probably around the time where Bitcoin topped out as well, at around $30,000 or $31,000. And now obviously it's back into the mid 20s again. So the portfolio has been wrecked, and you can see pretty much I'm negative on almost every single altcoin, especially these lower market cap ones like Lyra, Butterfly, even Matic, which I started buying around the 80 cents mark, down massively. Thankfully though, I have actually been farming some Matic, and therefore I have been accumulating some fees along the way, and so the damage isn't actually this bad, but I will update this later on today. Pretty much everything else is pretty stable. The only asset that I think is additional compared to last time is Ohm. Ohm is basically a stable coin, and I've just added that because I like to farm it with some USDC, and the yields are pretty good at the moment, so that's why I'm doing that. So yeah, the current portfolio is around $11,000. I mean, if we just go and have a look, maybe if I click on analytics, we can see here over time, we can see like pretty much from March, it's just been pretty stagnant, and we've actually been adding to the portfolio in this time frame, so technically it's not very good actually, what we've been seeing. So yeah, this is where we are at the moment. It's hard to really grow a portfolio without taking high risk in this kind of environment, and today what I thought we'll do is we'll just talk about the current state of the market, what I think's going on at the moment, and I think I'll save my thoughts for Q4 for the next video, but we'll definitely talk about the current state of the market and what's going on right now, which I think is really, really important. So yeah, just covering a bit more of the portfolio, we're still mostly stabled up, especially if you can account for USDC and Ohm. We're like 45% stabled up, and maybe that will get close to 50%, and then if you account for ARB FXS, like that's pretty much the majority of the portfolio for now. And yeah, let's talk about the current state of the market. So I think the first thing to just talk about is stablecoins are on a big downtrend. We can see this here, going from, this is the start of the year, 135 bill, now going down into the 120s. Now I know that over the last month it has kind of stabilized a little bit, but generally this trend has been continuous, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I think people are still cashing out, and there isn't really much reason to stay in crypto if you're able to access things like the US Treasury yield off chain, which is currently around 5.25%, I believe. So I mean, if you can earn that on your cash, why would you take on the risk of farming or anything like that? I think it's a very good question for sure, and I think for anyone with size, fair enough. Safety first, of course. So yeah, I think the stablecoin market cap going down is not a good sign. It just shrinks the liquidity. I think we see this with meme coins as well. Like you see when there's a lot of liquidity, these things pump really hard. And as you can see, like generally these have gone smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, especially if we look at the 2023 ones. Like we saw the rise of Pepe going to 1.5 billion, and then Harry Potter, Obama Sonic Inu only going to 200 million, Bold pretty fairly recently only going to 100 million, and I think it's going to be really hard now to even get any of these viral meme coins to go any higher than this for sure. Whereas if you remember back in the Doge time, there was a new meme coin overtaking Bold like every day. I think getting 100 million in the bull market was fairly easy actually compared to what it is now. It is next to impossible now. A lot of luck on your side, a lot of games as well. So I think basically the point I'm trying to say is liquidity is down only, and you can see this like DeFi Llama. There's so many new innovative products. There's new chains, there's new derivatives, protocols. Yeah, I think generally like DeFi TVL from July. Well, let's bridge out a little bit longer. Whoops. It's still been going down. So this is from August last year to, I mean, let's look at September. So it was around 70 billion, and now we're down to 48, 49, 50 billion. So we're still down from last year. Despite all of the innovation, despite all the real world assets, despite all the liquid staking stuff and all that sort of stuff, liquid staking has actually been one of the categories that has been growing the most. So if you take liquid staking out of the equation, then I think DeFi TVL will be significantly lower than what it is right now. So the point I'm trying to make is stablecoin market cap is down, liquidity is down, TVL is down. So naturally, as you can imagine, crypto is down. If we look at the macro side of things, it looks like the Fed is still looking to increase interest rates again, perhaps one more rate hike to go, and then maybe we'll see kind of some rate cuts. Who knows? The terminal rate being 5.25 to 5.5% may be kind of where we are. Anyway, we're going to find out basically end of September. So this September 19th, 20th meeting is going to be really, really important to basically see, what's going on next. I think there will be just one more rate hike, 25 basis points rate hike. We'll have to wait and see and kind of see after that kind of what's going to go on. It looks like the Bank of England are also doing the same thing as well for those of you in the UK. And yeah, I think there's still a lot of things that can go wrong. We've got Mt. Gox coins basically releasing, the US government potentially selling some of their Bitcoin holding. We've got the FTX assets that they now have available, and it's quite a lot actually. So FTX bankruptcy, they actually hold quite a few billion in assets, including Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then some of these altcoins as well. That is a lot of SOL. Now, as far as I'm aware, they won't be able to sell all of this in one go. They're going to have to sell it in bits, and they've got a team organized around selling these assets, and I believe they will be hedging them with derivatives for sure. So they should be able to get quite a lot of money out, and I don't know what that is going to do for assets like SOL, where they've got a lot of SOL to sell. I think they can only sell 50 million or 100 million a week. So this is going to be a long, slow process, because that is maybe you're talking 6 months to 12 months before they can even sell half of this stuff. So we'll have to wait and see if that results in SOL bleeding a little bit more. I'm not too sure. We'll have to just wait and see. But I think for sure these assets will be sold, and the question is if they will be sold to consolidate holdings into ETH or Bitcoin, or straight into stables. I'm not too sure about that. We'll have to wait and see. So that is a big issue. We also had the news of the Bitcoin ETF. I think there are potentially some delays, and therefore that's not a good thing. Potentially blood in the market for that. The SEC also want to appeal the XRP decision as well. So I think there's still a lot of stuff going on that I think generally explain the current situation in the market. If we actually look at the chart for Bitcoin, it has actually been trying to kind of get out of this $25,000 range. We're around the 27,000 mark, but we're still chopping up and down. There isn't really much significant price action, and you can see just on the side that altcoins are not really doing too well. I mean, if we take a look at Matic, for example, let's change this to the 1-day chart. I mean, it is horrible price action, isn't it? Horrible price action. So yeah, down from a peak of $1.50 just in February, not even that long ago, and look at this, just down all the way down to 50 cents now. I mean, the question is it going to go any lower than this? Potentially. I have Uniswap v3 positions ready for this, and so I will happily pick up Matic at 30 cents if it gets there. But I think even if you're buying at 50 cents or 40 cents, I think in the long run you should be okay. Not financial advice, of course. So that's pretty much where we are in the market. I mean, it makes sense really. The market is not doing well because of all of these things. There's lots of concerns. There's lots of things that can cause sell pressure if you look at the macro and you look at some of these other things like FTX, Mt. Gox. SEC regulation issues, all of these concerns. There's still a lot of exploits and hacks going on in crypto as well. So generally, it kind of makes sense why this is happening. I do wonder kind of how long this can go on for. This bear market has been brutal, it has been long, and I think eventually sellers will get exhausted for sure. And I think hopefully that's when I can utilize some of these stable coins to buy really solid cash flow generating assets, or not necessarily cash flow assets, but high quality crypto assets, and hopefully we can kind of return upwards after that. So that's pretty much where we are today. I'm going to leave it at that, and I think I will try and make an update very soon. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're following me, because in the next video I'm going to add some assets to the portfolio. Especially I think it's always good to dollar cost average, and I think it might be a good time now. So I'm going to do that. And secondly, I am going to talk about my thoughts for Q4 and kind of where I think things are going, what I'm particularly looking at, and where I'm going to allocate capital going forward. So I think you guys will really enjoy that one. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're at $11,209. We'll be back with episode 15 next.